Hello, class. Professor Nenos here for the Week 4 wrap up. This past week, you did an evaluation. You had the list of countries that we have been looking at for the past couple of weeks, few weeks, and you were to create a country allocation plan. You were given, of course, the regulatory timelines. You were expected to download those for the ones that you had not developed from your classmates, and then you had your enrollment timeline. And from that, you were supposed to make decisions based on which countries that you would make part of your study. In real life, that's not enough information to make a decision on, but that was the assignment, and so for the most part, everybody did well. But two things: first, be sure that your regulatory timelines that you're referencing are correct. If you think that China is going to be able to grant approval in 6 or 7 months, and then you find out and you base all of your decisions on that timeline, having drug ready, having all of your training done and whatnot on 6 or 7 months, you're going to be very, very surprised when you realize that it's closer to 20 months or even longer. So be sure that the information makes sense and that it's been confirmed. The second thing is you can have some fantastic, wonderful data, but if the method and the manner in which it's presented, i.e., you have sloppy slides, it's not going to be very well received because the presentation of it can be very distracting. Think of it as you can have the most fantastic on paper candidate that's going to be coming in for an interview, but if the candidate comes in and looks like they slept in the street last night, well, they're not going to be taken very seriously. And if your slides are not well done, that's how your data is not going to be very well received. So be sure that you take enough time to actually look at your slides and put those things together. Make sure that each country is properly spaced, that your bullets are all lined up, that everything is neat and squared as you would expect something to be. That leads me into your assignment. So assignment 1, in this case, you're going to be building on all that information that that we've been working on up to this point. So all of those questions that I would ask you about whether or not, what sort of additional information would you like to see beyond your enrollment timelines and your regulatory timelines? What else would you like to see that help you make an informed decision? This is where all of that's going to start to come into play. So you're going to be given, or one of the assumptions that you have a challenging population to enroll, which is fairly common. And then you're given a significant list of factors to take into consideration. You are to choose your top 5. Then you're to list them in a category, or you're to list them in priority from most to least important. And then you are to give to say why they are important. You can list 3 examples of what sort of information that you will have gained from that factor, and how it comes into play in your assessment plan. Your references. Always remember that you don't want your slides to get too busy. You start putting references at the bottom of the slides, and it's going to immediately get very distracting. You're not going to be able to actually read the slide or read the references because they're going to be crammed down at the bottom. You're going to have to put them in significantly smaller font, 8, 10 font on a slide that usually has 16, 20, 24 size font. So what you want to be doing is maybe putting a superscript for the reference. So let's say that this is going to be your second or your third reference. So you either put a number 2 or number 3. And then your final slide where you're going to be listing your references, you would put that corresponding number. So you put a 2 and then put it in a block format. Put your references in block format. Now, obviously, there's a lot more instruction that's listed in your syllabus. Where the assignment instructions are given, and so go into more detail and read those hopefully before you start your assignment. There is no narration, and it's due on Sunday. And as always, if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to me, email me, or post the questions to the professor, and I look forward to reading your papers.